We are officially in 2026, the industry is waking up from its winter slumber, and usually January is a dumping ground for games that publishers want to bury, but this year is different. We aren't just getting the usual filler, we're getting serious contenders for Game of the Year right out of the gate. We have ancient farming sims that respect your intelligence, cozy noir management games that will stress you out in the best way possible, and a city builder that might finally dethrone the classics. Today we're looking at the top 10 cozy sim and indie games launching this month. As always, we aren't just looking at the vibes, we're looking at the loop, where you're breaking down the mechanics, the controls, and the value for your money, so you know exactly what to add to your wishlist and what to skip. Grab your brew, take a breath, let's take a look at what January has to offer. And if you're excited to jump back into the tea time rhythm, hit that like button right now, it helps other cozy gamers find this sanctuary. Let's see if we can get 100 likes on the first video of the year to show the algorithm that the crew is officially back. We are starting off with something light, something to cleanse the palate before we get into the heavy management sims later in the list. Coming in at number 10 is 100 Los Angeles Cats. If you've been a part of the crew for a while, you know I have a soft spot for the 100 Cats series. It's not complex, it's not trying to reinvent the wheel, it is basically a digital Where's Waldo, but strictly for cat people. The premise is exactly what it says on the tin. You are presented with a massive hand-drawn panoramic poster of Los Angeles, Hollywood Hills, the beaches, the traffic, and hidden within that chaos are 100 distinctly drawn felines. What I love about this iteration is the art evolution. The line work feels crispier than the Paris or Tokyo editions from last year. The developers have really leaned into the environmental storytelling. These aren't just static stamps. You'll find cats surfing, cats directing movies, cats stuck in traffic. It's charming, it's silly, and it's incredibly satisfying to hear that little pop sound when you find one. Is this going to change your life? No, it's a 1-hour experience max. But for the price of a coffee, it's the perfect way to spend a quiet Sunday morning when your brain is too fried for resource management. It releases January 5th, and it's a recommend from me if you need a quick dopamine hit. Moving to number 9, we have My Tiny Landscape. This game sits in that same comfy armchair as titles like Tiny Glade or Cloud Gardens. It is a definition of zen. There are no enemies, there are no timers, there is no fail state. The core loop is about restoration. You are given barren procedural archipelagos, floating chunks of rock in the sky. Your job is to bring them back to life, tile by tile. You place biomes, you plant trees, you carve out rivers. What separates this from a standard city builder is the scale. You aren't managing a metropolis, you are managing a diorama. The UI is incredibly clean, almost invisible, which lets you focus entirely on the aesthetic. The lighting engine here is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. You can toggle between day, sunset and night, and watching the shadows lengthen across your tiny forest is legitimately mesmerizing. It's a tactile digital desk toy, it drops January 26th on PC, and I'm praying for a Switch port because this belongs on a handheld. At number 8, we have Retro Relics. We talk a lot about dad games on this channel, power washing, trucking, lawn mowing, while Retro Relics is the ultimate retired uncle simulator, and I mean that as a massive compliment. The gameplay loop here is split into 2 distinct phases. First you have the hunt. You're dropped into various semi-open world maps, beaches, old battlefields, abandoned parks, with just your metal detector and a shovel. The audio design here is crucial. You have to listen to the pitch and frequency of the beeps to determine if you're standing over a rusty nail or a piece of history. It requires patience. You can't just sprint around, you have to walk slowly, sweeping the ground. It forces you to slow down. Then you have the restoration. Once you dig up an item, you take it back to your workshop to clean it. I got to play the demo last week and I will say, the controls are a bit clunky. Trying to rotate the objects in the cleaning phase felt a little unresponsive on a controller, but the vibe is immaculate. It's raining outside, you're in your virtual shed, the radio is playing soft lo-fi, and you're just cleaning up old coins. It releases January 5th. By the way, if you love that specific rainy day gaming vibe, check out the new charcoal and coral hoodies in the merch store below. They're designed specifically for long sessions like this, the link is in the description. Number 7 is Ancient Farm. Forget your tractors, forget your automated sprinklers, this is farming on hard mode. Set in ancient Egypt, this simulator strips away modern convenience and asks you to build a civilization from the mud up. You start with nothing but a patch of land near the Nile. Everything here is manual. You have to dig irrigation ditches by hand to route water from the river. You have to harvest grain with a sickle. You have to process that grain into flour using stone tools. What I find fascinating is the educational aspect. The developers have clearly done their homework on ancient agricultural techniques. It feels less like a game and more like a time machine. However, a warning for the cozy crowd, this is physically demanding gameplay. It's click heavy, it's repetitive. If you are looking for Stardew Valley romance, this isn't it. This is about the work. But if you enjoyed the grind of Medieval Dynasty, this will scratch that same itch. It launches January 7th. Number 6 is a pivot. This is what I call cozy noir. It's Quarantine Zone: The Last Check. Some of you might be asking, how is a game about a zombie outbreak cozy? But hear me out. This is a Papers, Please style management game. You are manning the final checkpoint of a safe zone. Your job is to screen refugees, check their documents, and test them for infection. The cozy factor comes from the rhythm. You are safe in your booth, the world outside is chaotic, but inside it's just you, your stamp, and your tools. There is a methodical satisfaction in checking the temperature, scanning the eyes, and making the decision. It's tense, yes, but it's a focused tension. You have to manage your resources, test kits, batteries, fuel, and balance your morality against your orders. It's releasing January 12th, and it looks incredibly polished for an indie title. Let's bring the mood back up. Number 5 is Exotica 2 Pet Shop Simulator. If you played the first one, you know the deal. You run a shop specializing in exotic animals, reptiles, amphibians, spiders. The sequel has massively overhauled the customization. You aren't just placing cages, you are building entire ecosystems. You have to manage the humidity, the heat lamps, and the diet for every single creature. The new breeding mechanic is the standout here. You can now breed rare color morphs of geckos and snakes to sell for a higher profit. It taps into that tycoon brain where you want to optimize your layout for maximum efficiency. It's worth noting this is a simulator with a capital S. You have to clean the cages, you have to pay the bills, but watching your shop grow from a small room to a massive emporium is undeniably satisfying. It opens for business on January 21st. Number 4 is Moving Simulator, and I know what you're thinking, moving is the most stressful thing a human can do, why would I play a game about it? Because surprisingly, when you remove the real-world back pain, moving is actually a puzzle game. This is distinct from Moving Out, which is a wacky party game. This is a physics sim. You have to realistically pack boxes, you have to stack them in the truck so they don't tip over when you drive, you have to strap down the furniture. There is a deep satisfaction in Tetrising a perfectly packed truck. It appeals to that part of our brain that loves organisation. And yes, things will go wrong. You will drop a piano, you will shatter a box of plates, but that's part of the charm. It's low stakes chaos. If you love organising or if you just want to break some virtual furniture, check this out on January 16th. We are entering the top 3 and these are the heavy hitters. Number 3 is Tailside Cozy Cafe Sim. This is purely for the tea time crew. The aesthetic is gorgeous pixel art drenched in warm browns and oranges. You play as a cafe owner in a world populated by animals. The coffee brewing here is a star. It's not just press X to make coffee. You have to grind the beans, tamp the grounds, froth the milk, and pour the latte art. It uses a card-based recipe system that adds a layer of strategy to the menu. But what I really love is the narrative layer. You don't just serve drinks, you listen. You read the daily newspaper to see what's happening in town, and that information helps you recommend the right drink for your customers. It's about being a hub for the community. It's coming to both PC and Switch on January 21st, and it looks like the perfect game to play in bed. I'm planning a full review of Tailside for the channel members, where I'll break down the coffee mechanics in depth. If you want to support the channel and get the extra content, hit the join button below. Number 2 is a big one. It's not a new game, but it is a new beginning. Cozy Caravan is finally hitting its 1.0 full release on January 8th. We've covered this in early access, but the 1.0 update is massive. It brings the game to Nintendo Switch for the first time, adds new regions, and finally completes the story. For those who missed it, You play as a travelling merchant. You drive your little caravan from town to town, setting up a mobile market. You craft items, you cook food, and you trade with the locals. The heart system is what makes this special. You don't trade for money, you trade for happiness. The more you help people, the more the world opens up. It is the ultimate feel-good game. There is no combat, there is no rush. It is just you, your best friend Bubba, and the open road. If you've been waiting for the complete experience, now is the time to jump in. And finally, the number one game of January 2026. This is the most ambitious title on the list. It's a city builder that is trying to do for Rome what City Skylines did for modern metros. This is Nova Roma. Developed by Lion Shield, the folks who made Kingdoms and Castles, this is a grounded city builder. The focus here is on water physics. The aqueduct system isn't just cosmetic, it is a simulation. You have to calculate the flow, the elevation, and the pressure to get fresh water to your citizens. If the water stops, the city dies. But it's not just engineering. You have to appease the gods. If you ignore Jupiter, you get lightning strikes. If you ignore Ceres, your crops fail. It adds a layer of myth and magic to the standard city building formula. Visually, it is stunning. The way the water flows, the way the little citizens move, it is a premium experience. It drops into early access on January 22nd, and for my money, it is the must-play of the month. So there you have it, 10 games to kick off 2026. From the simple joy of finding cats in LA, to the complex engineering of ancient Rome. January is proving that the cozy genre isn't just one thing, it's broad, it's deep, and it's better than ever. I want to know from you, which of these games is going on your wishlist? Are you here for the farming grind of Ancient Farm, or are you just ready to make latte art in Tailside? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this guide, please consider subscribing. We're aiming for 10,000 Tea Time crew members this year, and I'd love for you to be part of that journey. I'll be back on Wednesday with the first impressions video, but until then, grab a brew, take a breath, and I'll see you on the cozy side of gaming.